Hello and welcome back to the Patient First Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bryan Laskin, where of course we're looking to increase the influence of today's engaged dentists. And I think we all know I love talking to dentists, and I talk to dentists all the time. And when two dentists talk, what do we talk about? Dentistry. It sounds silly, but I just came to this realization. I was thinking about it the other day. Get two dentists together, and there's never a lack of ability to talk about dentistry. We just love talking about dentistry all the time. And I guess maybe it's just like because I like to hang around with engaged dentists and I love talking dentistry, as do they. And our world right now is shifting all the time. It's a period of a lot of change. And it seems like there's a hot topic, a new hot topic every other day. And right now, I want to focus on a topic that I believe is on everyone's mind in the industry, and it is marketing. I was leading a live question and answer session for the Insanely Productive Dentist workshop series that's going on right now. And the topic of marketing came up several times. And I give everybody in the worksheet, in the workshop, during the stage that we're going through right now, some tips on marketing. And then also we go through a marketing checklist where I kind of talk about what kind of marketing you should have in place for your practice. And keep in mind, marketing is a very broad topic. So I hate talking about marketing in general. It's kind of like talking about leadership or management or finance or these broad categories. There are so many subcategories when it comes to marketing. What your brand is, internal marketing, external marketing, and even within those, there's every little subsets. And like, this Googled image shows when people think about marketing, they think of words like video. That's what is in this image. If you're listening to the podcast and not watching it on YouTube, either way, if you do listen on podcasts or are watching it on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want us to reference images, more, whatever you want, I'm here to serve the engaged dentist community. But in this Googled image, if you can't see it, there's words which people pertain to marketing, not just in dentistry, but around the world. Words like video, email, analysis, network, promotion. And if you're selling cola or phones, obviously this makes sense. But keep in mind, I think in a service industry like dentistry, we're not looking at these things necessarily to grow our practices, right? The trend for dentists to do this, though, has been growing a lot. I think pushed by marketing companies that realize that there's an opportunity to help dentists market their practices with. There's nothing wrong with that. However, a lot of these marketing companies, I think, are going about it traditionally, and they're not really adjusting to the way the dental industry is and how it operates. Here's what I mean. I think that there's a lot of marketing companies that are on the sidelines. They maybe the person that owns a marketing company goes to the dentist and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I could help this practice market so much more effectively by doing all the things I do for my other clients, this social media stuff, the SEO and all of that." And I call this the idea that you can pay for patients. And it's very popular now. It seems like everyone is trying to do it. The newest social media, SEO, like I mentioned, I like to call it BSEO because SEO, I think, is really overblown in a lot of ways. I mean, if you think about it, search engine optimization, you're optimizing for Google. Are you going to be able to make words behind your website more effective than paying Google to optimize your search? The answer is no. But I digress. Basically, what we're talking about is paying people a bunch of money for some sort of secret sauce that they feel they figured out that no other marketer has figured out. Sorry for laughing, but it is kind of funny that they get away with this in dentistry. I think that they have some secret sauce that's going to drive patients to your practice. That is not the way the world works, unfortunately. And fortunately, if you could just write a check for X amount of dollars per month and get X amount of new patients, that'd be great. And I think that you probably can do that. But let's talk about what that actually means. Well, during this live Q&A session with a dentist that is in IPD, or Insanely Productive Dentist, we call it IPD at Upgrade Dental, I got into a conversation with an amazing dentist. And this smart dentist pointed out something that I want to talk about with regards to marketing. They said, Bryan, I don't want to train my patients to ignore me. And what they were talking about specifically, again, there's all different types of marketing, but with this area of marketing, they were talking about their patient engagement solution. So communicating with patients, reminding them of their appointments, asking for referrals, things like that, which is done in Opera DDS, the platform that I developed and now is owned by Vine Dental. And they're talking about recall and reviews and how he is careful not to over notify patients to the point of them ignoring notifications from their practice. And I think this is a great point that I wanted to bring to you today on the podcast. How wise is that? If we get like 5,000 blips, and we all know what that means. You have those people that when they text you, you don't even read the text because there's not a lot of value in the text that you get. Or a reminder. I actually had an appointment for a massage, then they called me and I don't pick it up because they do this reminder call and I know what it is. Well, there was a couple other calls, one from a number that I didn't recognize. I listened to that. Turns out my massage therapist is sick, so I should have listened to that voicemail, but I don't listen to voicemails. In fact, I said to my massage therapist, could you email or text me instead? And they said, no, we don't do that. I'm like, well, I guess dentists aren't the only ones who can be behind the times sometimes, but I ignore their phone calls because I know what they are most of the time. We don't want that to be us. When you send a notification to a patient, we want them to want to look at it, right? Because we want to market our practices. So what do we do? How do we make patients care and inform them so that they actually refer people and become evangelists for our practice? Well, I think you can leverage the best instant messaging system on the planet. You can turn your patients into promoters of your practice by delivering a shockingly great patient experience. People are going to look at your notifications if you don't overdo it and you deliver them a great patient experience. What they will then do is talk to their friends and cause referrals, which referrals are the best instant messaging system on the planet. Having a patient instantly go home and talk to their friends and family about how they were blown away by your great care at your dental practice. So, number one, I believe if you've been listening to the podcast before, this probably isn't new to you. Some of these tips that I'll give you now, I think are going to be key to delivering a patient experience that blows people away so that they do the referrals for you. They're not going to just refer people because you send them a text message, right? But mastering some key elements of the experience, I think will work greatly to your advantage to generate referrals. Number one, master pain-free injections. Not less pain or painless, but not having injections have any type of discomfort. That is a key cornerstone of any patient experience today. Having that fundamental element of having patients coming in going, oh, I just love coming here because it never, ever, ever hurts is a huge point to deliver home. Sounds easy. It's not. It takes a lot of practice, skill, and attention to deliver a pain-free experience every single time. If you haven't mastered that yet, we do have a course at Upgrade Dental to talk about how to deliver the painless injection. And I think it's a key part of delivering dentistry today. Also offering sedation options like therapeutic virtual reality or Opera VR. That's huge. It actually can help with the first one. If you have somebody who's relatively sedated when you're giving them an injection, what it does is it shifts the pain scale to the left so that it requires a larger pain stimulation to get the same level of response. That's how anxiety works. So I won't go too deep into it here, but mastering sedation, mastering pain-free injections are fundamental to, I believe, generating referrals and having a growing practice today. Then there's just the thing that everybody's looking today for. We're all have distractions all of the time. We're all so busy. So catering, as I say in air quotes, because I don't believe this is catering, I think it is a key piece of delivering quality care today is delivering dentistry conveniently. The way that patients consume everything else in their lives is how they want to experience their dental care, and that is conveniently. So things like paperless intake forms, same-day service, automated reviews that helps them spread the word where people are looking. Google and Facebook, frankly, is massively important. And make sure to train your team on this about the importance of the patient experience, because that's what's going to generate these referrals. And that's really how we want to grow our practices, right? The generating referrals is going to get in your best patients for routine care. When you have a family move to town and they want to come to your practice, obviously the way to get that is they usually are going to ask a friend, and then they'll check out the reviews online. Both of those are going to require you delivering a great experience in your practice. So it's not about handing over thousands of dollars every month to some marketing company. And if you did, it's going to be way more effective if you focus on the fundamental piece, the building block of which all other aspects of your marketing are built, and it is the patient experience. How important is this? How much do I think the patient experience is key? Well, I wrote a book about it, The Patient First Manifesto, right? If you don't have a copy, get your free copy at patientfirstbook.com. And then you might have guessed, I do a podcast about it called the Patient First Podcast that I love showing up every week and talking about how we can improve this together, how we can expand the definition of quality of care to include the patient experience so we can do more dentistry on patients and elevate the population's oral health. Thank you very much for being an engaged member of the dental team and for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next week, as every week. Thanks again.